How has no one ever explained that so smoothly?
You tracking so far?
Yes. This is like
Great.
the first time I've understood it.
I'm not scared. I'm excited.
It is scary. It does feel like a totally new financial system, and that's because it is. It's a whole new internet, and you can be a part of designing that new future. I'm Natasha Hoskins.
I'm Dina Burke, and we are part of Boys Club. Boys Club is a social collective that's bringing new voices to the new internet.
And we're here today answering all your questions about crypto. So have you ever purchased crypto? Is there anything, if you haven't, that's been holding you back?
I have never purchased crypto.
No, I have not purchased any crypto.
I've kind of been like on the fence about it.
Given that it was so new and I knew nothing about it, it just didn't seem like something I wanted to risk.
I'm just so unaware of like where to start. I want to be informed, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of people think of it as a financial asset, like a cryptocurrency. But crypto is really a way for value and power to be distributed on the internet.
What are your thoughts on the current financial system?
It's not working for me.
I don't really like it.
I feel like it's not necessarily fair the way that everything is kind of distributed.
It feels like for people who really understand it, it's like the deck is stacked that way, and for everyone else, it's kind of like you're just out of luck.
I think it's fair to say that there's some major systemic issues with the financial system that make it feel really unfair and purposefully hard to understand. And there's an opportunity now with crypto to upgrade the parts of it that we like and rewrite the parts of it that we want to rebuild.
So if I wanted to get started in crypto, where do I even start?
A great way to get started is to go to something called a centralized exchange, so something like Kraken. You can start with as little as $10, and then that sort of opens you up to using some of these other consumer applications.
One example that might be useful is, you know, when you go to Europe or to Mexico and you change your dollars to another currency, that's kind of what a centralized exchange is, except for a cryptocurrency.
Could I just go on like the normal web, or do I have to use the dark web? Like, how does it work?
That's a great question. You do not need to be on the dark web, nor would I recommend that you go to the dark
We're nowhere
web.
near the dark web.
Okay.
We're not there.
So it's really easy to get started, and a lot of people think that you need to have a ton of money or you need to be super technical, but neither of those things are true.
I honestly didn't know that there were sites like Kraken, because my mother-in-law bought Bitcoin when it was really low, and then she like forgot her password and couldn't access it.
Oh,
And I was like, I don't want that to happen to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fear.
That's what's great about centralized exchanges. Start to experiment, to like get your feet wet. You have a customer support line that you can call, and at Kraken, it's anytime, 24/7. That's amazing.
What makes you wary of jumping into crypto?
Investing in a company feels a little bit more legitimate than a coin where anyone could have made it.
I've just heard a lot of stories about it being really high, and then the next day you log on and it's like, I mean, much lower. Now, I've had that happen to me with stocks too, though, where it's gone down 90%.
If it were up to me, I'd have it in cash in my mattress. I know what banks do with money, and honestly, I try not to think about it.
Anytime you're making an investment or storing your assets, like there's always some risk involved, and it's just about understanding like what are the trade-offs with the various places that you could be storing it.
Something that I'm really drawn to in crypto is that it's totally transparent. A few months ago, there were a bunch of regional banks that were shuttering. There's a real lack of transparency around what they're doing with your money. And with crypto, it's all on the blockchain. That is totally revolutionary to the current financial system, that level of transparency.
So then how do I decide like when's the right time to buy?
You're never going to be able to time the market perfectly.
Right.
There's this thing called dollar cost averaging, which is basically like you put a little bit of that investment in over time to hedge against like buying when the market's really high or when it's really low.
Is there anything that you've always wondered about crypto, or something that could be demystified?
What is an NFT?
It's a great question.
Okay.
So NFT stands for non-fungible token. It can be music, it can be art, it can be fashion. Essentially, it's a way to own something on the blockchain that's not just a currency. When you have true ownership over your digital identity, it unlocks like a whole new world of things for you to be able to do online that is different from the type of internet that we're living in today.
What does it mean to be crypto mining? Like, what are you mining for?
Crypto mining is basically just how the network is secured. and how the people who are securing the network are rewarded.
Okay, so it's not like they're actually creating new crypto material. It's just them being like paid for helping the system operate.
Exactly.
Okay. How has no one ever explained that so smoothly?
So I was wondering if like crypto is affected by inflation as much as, you know, the US dollar is.
One of the really cool things about Bitcoin in particular is that it has a fixed supply. So there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin that are ever made. And so that keeps it from being an inflationary currency. In places like Venezuela, where currency is unstable or hyperinflationary, a lot of people are turning to Bitcoin as a more stable and inflation-proof asset because the government is not just going to keep printing more Bitcoin. There's only ever going to be a fixed amount.
So they're using it as like a savings account,
They can use
essentially.
it as
Exactly.
a savings account. Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things that's exciting to me is there's a lot of people in the world who are unbanked and aren't able to get a bank account. And crypto allows for those people to hold valuable assets in a way that is not possible for them with a traditional bank account. Also, with loans, there's a lot of bias around who can get a loan and who can't. That's actually one of the beautiful things about it, that you can't be discriminated against for gender or race. You're a wallet address.
One of the cool things about crypto that's so different from the traditional financial system is that it's borderless. With a bank, you're gonna have to pay, I don't know, something like $45 in fees for an international wire transfer, and that will take 3 to 5 business days. Yeah, just really expensive and really slow. And because crypto can move so quickly overseas and across borders, remittances or sending money overseas is so much cheaper and so much faster. That's been huge for people in their like actual lived and daily lives.
Yes, I've absolutely been hit with those fees. One time they didn't even transfer it correctly, and I still got charged for it transferring and then transferring back into my account.
brutal.
I was like, really? So stuff like that makes me interested in crypto.
One of the things I really love about the technology that's around crypto is that it creates ways to really easily coordinate people around a shared idea or a shared movement. And so these are called Dows. It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And a DAO can be spun up around anything. So one example of this is something called Links DAO, which is a bunch of people who got together who are really into golf, and they all pooled their funds into this shared wallet, and then they bought a golf course in Scotland together. Yeah, this type of thing is like really only possible with blockchain technology, and it's just really fun to see and imagine like what else will come out of this moment of innovation.
Are you more comfortable using crypto after learning about it today?
Great. Nice.
That's a win.
Definitely, I feel like I had a lot of the questions that were just insolvable puzzles answered for me.
Great.
I feel more comfortable doing my own research,
There you go.
Great.
but now I'm open to it. Like, yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that there were sites where you could go and purchase crypto. I thought I would have to do a bunch of technical things to be
Yeah.
able to actually access it. And I was like, that's too much work. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But being able to press a button like I could with a stock makes it definitely much more feasible for me.
Like, what would be that first step or that introduction into investing or like?
She's ready to jump in.
She's
ready to go.
There are great ways to get started. You can go to Kraken, you can start with as little as $10 and just play around. It unlocks like a whole new way to own and interact with the internet.